Hey, welcome back. This video is going to be a bit of a fireside chat of sorts. I appreciate everybody who's been watching the videos. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect when we started uploading, but wow, the response has been great. And I've been receiving some messages, not just on YouTube, but on social media, and then by obviously some people who knew how to get a hold of me. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. You know, the goal of this channel was for me to put my decades of experience, and instead of just holding them inside, to try to put them out there. Because I know certainly if I had to deal with some things at work, both good, bad, and otherwise, I know you guys are in the same boat, especially if you're out there hard charging, really working hard to deliver service and to the people on your beat. And so I feel you, and that's the impetus of this channel, Outside with Sarge. And the whole premise of being outside was, I'll take you back a little bit, in that we all, including myself, experience hundreds of critical incidents throughout our time as public servants, being first responders. Again, especially if you're out there hard charging, doing the good work, looking for opportunities to help people, looking for opportunities to enforce laws and get the people that shouldn't be out in public away from the public, those people that are just trying to go about their day and live in peace and do their thing. But along the way, yeah, you do amass quite a backlog of critical incidents. And if I'm being very upfront here, seeing a psychologist, I fought it at first, thinking that things such as choir practice, and for those of you who've been around for a while, you know what I'm talking about. They do help to a degree, and that camaraderie is definitely not time wasted. But when you accumulate so many rocks in your backpack and you have to carry those around and you don't exactly know how to deal with them, yeah, cumulatively they will have an adverse effect on not only your job performance, but your life outside the job. And so my goal, my wish is just to impart some things that really helped me. And so part of those things are just knowing how to structure your thoughts, how to tap into things that make you who you are before you put the uniform on, before you went out hard charging and did the good work as a public servant. So getting back to the theme of Outside with Sarge, that was definitely one of the things that, gosh, probably saved my career, if I'm being honest. Getting outside into nature and removing myself from, I guess, what was my normal existence or even my life, where I was probably pretty assured to not run into somebody that I knew or run into somebody that I had arrested or that reminded me of an incident. Man, nature is a great healer, and it's like a salve to those wounds that we incur. Some of them small, some of them just gigantic. And it keeps you grounded, I feel, to get outside and to spend time in the clean air, kind of working, hiking, things like that. Great help to me, and I'm a firm believer in getting back to Mother Nature as an antidote for the ailments of a career as a public servant. Another one of those things that I am a huge endorser of is travel. It's beautiful because it takes you out of your normal element. It takes you out of the confines of even your home, where certain things can remind you of things, or you just get into that monotony, and that can be dangerous for a public servant to be too idle. There's a famous quote says, "Ruin awaits the idle." Another quote is, "An idle mind is the devil's playground." And so much so that if you're idle, if you're just not doing anything when you're off duty, and that's the time when your mind can certainly start working against you, and you start to do things that are counterproductive to your healing. And that's exactly what you need. I'm not going to mix terms here. You need to be healed from all those abnormal things that we do and see in the name of service. So travel is a huge one for me because it takes you again out of your element. And if you go, to a different country or a different culture, man, it's kind of wonderful to be plucked from your life and then to be put somewhere where maybe you don't exactly speak the language, or the cultural differences are immediately obvious. And it makes you, in a way, appreciate what you have, but it also widens your field of vision for the world around you, in that we realize, we don't have all the answers, we don't have it all figured out, and our way is not always the best way. So travel is a big one. Another one that I got a huge benefit from, this might sound a little funny, but was through food. Not, just gobs of junk food, but like high quality, refined, delicious, lovingly prepared food. And so going to restaurants and indulging in a great, great meal that, those meals that satisfy your soul. They don't just make you not hungry, but there's a deeper level of satisfaction. And it may be different from you. The important thing is that we individually find out what works. But the theme of Outside with Sarge is to get us outside, whatever that might be, to get outside when you're having your days off or day off or half day off, as we sometimes experience in law enforcement. And you spend that wisely, like currency that you did a lot of work to earn, and now you want to be appropriate in how you spend that. I'll tell you, the career of a public servant is survivable, and wonderfully so. If we refocus, if we reframe, if we reintroduce ourselves to who we were before we put on that uniform, before we amassed all the stress and the trauma and experienced all those critical incidents, I'll tell you what, you can really, really achieve a higher level of focus, a higher level of healing, and by virtue of that, a higher level of service to the people that call upon us to stand in the void between being victimized and being safe. So again, thank you for indulging this channel. Thank you for subscribing. And we're moving up. Those views it puts a smile on my face when I see those views, because it tells me that the message is getting out there. And I'll leave you one more thing, not to get too lofty or like this is how I see myself, but when I was considering starting this channel, I watched a movie that I really love, Blade Runner, the old, the 80s version. And that final scene, I'll tell you, when he talks about, Rutger Hauer's character talks about the things that he's seen and done and the experiences that he alone was able to put in the backlog of his fading memory banks. And then knowing that it was all going to go away, like he says, like tears and rain. We who have done this for a long time, I think we owe it to the up-and-comers, the young hard chargers, to show them, hey, this is what worked for me. This is what didn't work for me. Learn from my mistakes, and the future can be brighter for you. And if the future is brighter for you, it's going to be better for the people that you serve. I'll leave you with that, and I'll leave you with my message of let's get out there. Let's get that work done.